Hello students, in today's lecture I am elaborating the objectives of monetary and fiscal policy. The concept and the instruments of monetary and fiscal policies have already been discussed, but I saw in one of the previous year papers that objectives of monetary policy and fiscal policies were asked, so I am continuing with this lecture now. When we talk about monetary policy, as I've already told you that in Indian economy there are two types of policies. One is monetary policy and the second one is fiscal policy. And monetary policy, if we talk about, is the plan of action that is initiated by the apex institution, that is RBI, and the purpose is to execute two things. One is to control the dynamics pertaining to the money supply in the economy, and the second thing is to control and regulate the dynamics pertaining to credit in the Indian economy. So basically here in monetary policy we deal with money supply and credit in the economy, and who is the main controlling regulatory authority here? That is RBI in Indian economy's case. When we talk about the objectives of monetary policy, the first one being the price stability or control of inflation. We are here not perceiving inflation to be a negative attribute, a thing that has negative attributes, and we are not saying here that we need to totally curb inflationary pressures and we need to make inflation rate to zero. As I've already told you that mild rate of inflation is necessary for the overall growth and development of the economy. So what here we do is we basically aim at price stability or controlling the rate of inflation. Here the main motive is to keep the rate of inflation between 3 to 4%, and the motive is that it should not go for it should not go beyond 4% and go into walking inflation and then running inflation, and then later on it turns up into hyperinflation. The motive is to stop inflationary pressures till 3% and 4%, because as we all know that mild rate of inflation is necessary for economic growth, but it should not turn up into walking and running inflation. So here the first objective is to control the rate of inflation and to restrict it to say 3% or 4% as the annual rate of inflation. The second one is to ensure the economic growth. This is in monetary policy it is taken into consideration, and qualitative instruments especially, that the credit is not available to a basic group of people who are affluent and who have a good credibility. The motive here is to ensure that people should get credit in right amount, as there is a fixation of ceiling that you cannot get credit more than this amount, and if you need more credit, then in that case you need to pay high rate of interest. So the motive is here to ensure the availability of credit to the people who actually require it in the right amount, and the second thing is to make credit available to the people at lower rates of interest. The next is ensuring full level of employment. Full level of employment refers to a phenomena wherein all those people who are able and willing to work, they get the jobs at prevailing wage rates. So here the motive is to ensure that there should be reduction in level of unemployment. And the second thing is that because if lesser people would be unemployed here, in that case, and many people are getting jobs and earning salaries, and they're able to earn the income levels, raise the income levels, and when the income levels are increased at national level, we say that national income is increased. So the motive is here is to ensure that the level of unemployment get reduced, the level of income, means national income, gets enhanced, and in a way we are able to strengthen our position vis-a-vis other economies. Next is correcting the disequilibrium in balance of payments, or we can say that the ensuring the stability in balance of payment situation. So this is attained by ensuring that there is a stability in the interest rates and exchange rates, and we are enhancing the level of exports, and thereby we are earning more and more revenues, and there are injections in the economy thereafter, and we are reducing the imports from other countries. The reason is because if we are importing from other countries, massive amount is flowing to other economies, and there is a drain of the funds, and which we know is known as withdrawals from the economy, or which are known as leakages from the economy. So all these objectives are again there. With this, the monetary policies objectives are over, but yes, these policies are again repeated in one form or the other in fiscal policy also. But yes, there are two additional objectives as well in case of fiscal policy. Now we'll be focusing on fiscal policy. Fiscal policy, as I've already told you, it reflects the plan of action that is initiated by the government through finance ministry. There are certain macroeconomic objectives that it aims to achieve, and these macroeconomic objectives include: first one is resource mobilization. The motive is, when we talk about economics, we say that economics is basically a discipline that basically aims at optimum allocation of resources. So here again we are talking about resources, and the purpose here is to allocate and to mobilize those resources in the productive uses. Means supposingly how this can be attained, as I have already told in my previous PPTs also, that whenever we talk about government, if the government enters in the arena of business sector and household sector, it has two instruments. One, it will be making some sort of revenue, and that is known as it will be incurring some sort of expenditure, that is known as government expenditure. And the second thing is, it will be gaining some sort of revenue, and that is government revenue is nothing but tax revenue. So here the government has two major instruments. One is tax revenue, and the second one is government expenditure. In resource mobilization, what the government does, it basically collects the taxes and then distributes it to various ministries and departments, so that they can carry out all the schemes, plans, programs of action that can help in uplifting the economy. Okay, so this is the first objective. The second is redistribution of income. Here what we do is, through taxation reforms only, what we do, we aim at bridging the gap between rich and poor, and we try to redistribute the income from rich to poor. This can be done by making government expenditure also, providing good schemes and benefits and concessions, and giving subsidies to the poor people. This is also helpful to these people, and this enables the redistribution of income from rich to poor. The next one is control of inflation. Once again, the same point was there in case of monetary policy. We are repeating the same point here. In monetary policy, full level of employment was there. Here we are aiming at generation of employment. So there the word was full level of employment. Here we are talking about employment generation. We are making sure that people do get the jobs who are able and who are able to work and who are willing to work. They get the jobs at prevailing wage rates. So here what we do, in order to control inflation, the government resorts to government expenditure. This government expenditure is made in the form of investment on roads, dams, bridges, underpasses, flyovers, which provides massive employment opportunities to the people who are in a way skilled as well as unskilled. Unskilled people also do get jobs here. So it facilitates the process of employment generation. The next one is disequilibrium in balance of payments. We are able to rectify all the disparities or disequilibria that exist in the balance of payment situation. So what it does here, it tries to follow the export promotion and import substitution policy, which monetary policy also talked about. The motive is that when we export more, we'll be earning more revenues, and when we'll be importing more, then the money would be getting leaked from the economy. It would lead to leakages. So the purpose is to ensure that the balance of trade and balance of payment situation becomes better here. The next one is capital formation. We are here talking about capital formation, fiscal policy, and monetary policy. We talked about the economic growth. In fiscal policy, we say that the government spends money on various projects that help in enhancing the national income, which leads to economic growth or development of the economy. But here we talk about the capital formation. Capital formation means addition to the existing stock of capital. Means we are making more investments on plant and machinery, tools, equipments. So through these things, we are generating national income in the economy, and thereby economic growth is restored. Thank you so much for your patient listening. With this, we are done with the objectives of fiscal policy. Thank you so much.